Keep it super simple. It'll be delicious, it'll be hearty, it'll be flavorful. You'll be dancing naked in the streets, telling everyone how much you love cooking. So this is another super simple one. I already have my meatballs prepped, so I can make these like meatball lettuce wraps. And this is kind of edging a bit more towards the Vietnamese world than Thai, but again, to me it's about making delicious food, getting influence from around the world, and just having fun in the kitchen. The more you understand the flavors that you like and understand balance, you're gonna be a freaking master. People are gonna think you're the best cook in the world, and you're gonna have basically done nothing. And that's my favorite part about this video, is that everything I made is super simple, but when it comes together, it's like the Power Rangers or the Transformers. You know, as one, they're good, but when they come together, you're like, oh God, I can't know what to do. So that's something to think about. Like, even if you're like, well, I'm not skilled, like I'm literally, the tofu I made, I just fried some tofu in a pan. It's that simple. The meatballs, I just mixed some stuff into chicken and fried them up. The tomatoes, they're just roasted. Most of this stuff is fresh and just mixing. So super easy. If I can do it, I promise you that you can do it. Whatever access to whatever ingredients you have is cool. So for these meatball wraps, put some lettuce down, and in a pan I'm just gonna heat up the meatballs and some rice. Do your best to keep them, give them their own little territory there, you know, separate them or they'll get a little too excited before you get to eat them. And then you can put whatever you want on your plate. What I like to do is take some of the pickled veggies, put them down, some cilantro, and then just kind of put the meatballs and the rice on your plate, and you can add like a little bit of sauce if you want. You can add some crispy shallots. The way I like to eat this is I'll take a little bit of lettuce, take a meatball, kind of make your own little bites, which is cool. Then you can add other vegetables, obviously, and other meats. You can do tofu. The whole point is giving you options. So you want to eat this, 2 times in a row. Maybe you don't want meat each time. Maybe you want some tofu. Take a little bit of this, break it up. Get these beautiful, baldacious bites in your mouth. Fried rice, freaking amazing. We probably made a million variations. This one is one of my personal favorites. It's kind of erring a bit on the Thai side, but it's super easy to make. Very similar to pad Thai. So one thing I should note is this oil here. I fried a ton of shallots, and once you strain everything off, you get your crispy shallots, but I strained the oil, so now I have this flavored oil, which is gonna make everything taste better. So what I do is I take some of that shallot oil, and in there I'm gonna fry some green onions, a little bit of carrot. Just kind of let that cook for just 30 seconds or a minute or whatever, depending on how high it is. Then I throw in the rice, stir that around. You kind of want to crisp that up, so you might want to add a little bit more oil, kind of crisp up the rice real good. Push it aside, crack an egg, let it settle for about 30 seconds, then scramble it around, and once it's starting to feel like it's solidifying, then you can mix it in with everything. Don't do it before. At that point, I just add in some chicken, mix that around a bit, then I add in my sauce. It's very important when you're making fried rice or stir fries, you want to add your sauce at the end. A lot of people add it right away, but what happens is oftentimes the sugar and the soy sauce, they start to burn and get very sticky and they can ruin your pan. So add it at the very end. It doesn't necessarily need to be cooked more than 30 seconds. So you toss that in, you stir it around, and then you just put it right into a bowl. And one thing you could do that's fun is add some white pepper if you have it, or even black pepper. I kind of added some of that already in my little sauce there. Put it into a bowl, hit it with some fresh herbs, maybe a little bit of crispy shallots if you'd like. You're noticing a trend here. I'm adding that to almost everything because that's what I like. You don't have to. And then just some fresh cucumber. I find cucumber in fried rice, it adds a freshness to something that's, when you hear the word fried, you're assuming there's like a little bit of extra oil or greasiness to it. And not that this is like a heavy fried thing, but it just adds the freshness that you want. Another thing you can do with the curry, don't feel like you just need to be eating curry all the time. It's like I'm drinking curry for breakfast and I'm brushing my teeth with curry. I have way too much curry. No, you can use that sauce to make other things. So what I like to do is take a pan, add a little bit of the curry sauce plus a little bit of veggies, and then add water. Now I'm making more of a soup. And at this point I can add whatever I want in there. If I want to add some vegetables, I can break up my meatballs a little bit, add them in there, and it's becoming more of this delicious soup. Here's a fun trick if you're impatient and you don't want just heating it on one way. Heat from the top. Double heat action. It's like heat right here. I know it seems absurd, but this will actually add some smokiness to it, so if you want that like extra authentic flair going on there. See, look, now it's boiling. Okay, so The very last thing I want to do before I plate everything is add my noodles. The noodles are cold and they've been in the fridge, but you do not, I repeat, you do not want to overcook them. So you just literally like let them sit in the soup for 10 seconds and then they're still gonna be getting extra hot. 3, 2, 1. Heat goes off. Soup goes in. As always, crispy onions. I'm telling you, you're like, why is this guy using so many freaking crispy onions? But when you make them, you understand. You want them all the time. So like I said, variation on a curry, but just by adding the water, you get a whole new experience. See, it's the, oh God. Sometimes drinking broth is, it's so soothing. You can't understand it unless you've been there, you know, that experience when it's just a cold day. You're just like. Now you've noticed we haven't done any breakfast yet. That's for 2 reasons. One, I'm not really focusing on breakfast because the truth is, a lot of people think of breakfast and they think of waffles, pancakes, bacon, sausage, eggs. But I don't think of breakfast as that. To me, breakfast is just another chance to eat a delicious meal, whatever I want. So yeah, sometimes I eat those things, but oftentimes I'm just like frying up some kind of eggs with like a stir fry or something, or like a fried rice. So I find that like, for me, all these dishes, you could eat them at breakfast. I've had curry at breakfast before. Most cultures, they don't see breakfast as bacon, egg, and cheese. They see it as just delicious food that they want to eat in the morning. So one thing, though, that is a little bit more breakfasty is this Thai fried egg salad. And it's very simple. One variation, you could use the soy sauce. That would be amazing. But just to show you guys, there's other options here because I've been doing like different, protein options. I made a Thai dressing. It's basically just some lime juice, sugar, some chilies, and fish sauce, and mix that and kind of balance it to your liking. And this is super umami. It's got everything you want. It's got the sweetness, it's got the saltiness, it's got the spiciness, it's got that citrus thing going on. So what I do is take a wok, get a little bit of oil in there, crack 2 eggs, and fry those eggs up. If you want, you can flip them over or you can cover the pan, but you don't even have to do that. Kind of let them fry up and they're gonna puff up real cool and be crazy like that. And then all you do is you put them on a plate with some rice if you want rice. And then I started adding some scallions, some cilantro, a little bit of crispy onions, some peanuts, and then just sprinkle on that sauce over top. Oh yeah. The way the egg fries in the wok, it kind of gets charred and smoky. A big part of this video is understanding balance, and a lot of Asian cultures really get that. Certain American foods is very like one note. It's like we have a soup, and it's just like all like mushy and like clams and potatoes or whatever, but they really get balance of like the importance of different flavors and different textures and just different levels of deliciousness. Another thing that people talk about all the time, people that are broke, people that don't have a lot of time to cook, making stir fries. So it's very simple, but when you have all these options, it's not going to take nearly as long because a lot of stuff is cooked. So in my case, I might throw my broccoli and do my little steaming trick, and then throw in some other vegetables and kind of fry those things around. I might add some tofu to mine because I like tofu. And just kind of fry that around. The point is you want to get your veggies cooked to your liking and then toss in the sauce at the end, mix that around, and you're done. You serve it over rice, say goodnight, don't do anything more. You can add a little bit of fresh herbs at the end if you want, or add some spice, but keep it super simple. It'll be delicious, it'll be hearty, it'll be flavorful. You'll be dancing naked in the streets, telling everyone how much you love cooking. The last thing that I made, and again, there's probably, out of all the things I made today, you could probably make at least 100 different dishes. That's the cool part. You will never get bored with this stuff. And you can always add in. It's not like you're stuck with just the 10. If you're like, okay, I've used up my chicken, or I want to now go get some meat, cool. You still have all these other things to work with. Or I want some new veggies. So throughout the week, you can go grab other stuff or get stuff in your pantry. There's no rules, there's no limit. It's just about having fun. So the final one that I made was a larb gai. It's basically a minced meat salad they cook a lot in Thailand. I made a variation on it. And basically what I do is I take some of that ground chicken that I had. I add that to a bowl. I add in some cilantro, some scallions. I add some crispy shallots. I add some of those crushed up peanuts. I add some carrots. And then all I do is I take my Thai dressing, and again, you could also use the soy dressing if you want, or even just some chili vinegar would be delicious, but I take the Thai dressing, mix that in, just kind of mix it together, give it a taste. You could add mint if you want, just some raw onions, and just serve that over rice. And it's my favorite way to eat meat because it's refreshing. You get a lot of vegetables, a lot of freshness, but you also get to have like the protein experience in there. So that makes it, the peanuts. telling you, this is one of the best things. You can also do it with mushrooms if you don't like meat. So the moral of this video is that if you understand the different things that you need to feel satisfied, then you can basically make any meal you want. Cooking doesn't have to be this hard, scary, intimidating thing. You figure out your incredible edible 10, what works for you, and it can be a rotating thing. I don't eat this every week. Sometimes I'm feeling more Indian food, so I start to think, okay, what are the different Indian things? And a lot of them are similar. You know, you've got your different Indian curries, and you've got rice and things, and I start checking those things off the list. Maybe it's a chutney, mango chutney, for the kind of pickled experience and the sweetness. And then you start making your food and making it fun, endless variations. Thank you guys so much. Share this video with a friend, especially a friend who's like, oh, I can't cook, I don't have time. We all know those people who think they can't cook, maybe they're unhealthy, and you show them this and it's like, even if they don't cook anything, they could go buy pre-made chicken and pre-crispy onions and pre-made sauce, but the same concept applies across the board. It's taken me a long time to figure this out. I'm glad to share it with you guys. We'll see you soon.